Chapter 3. Pariah. The corridors narrowed as though the stone itself sought to crush him. Every sound of his boots echoed for too long, repeating back at him like a judgment. Kalen slowed, hand brushing the wall, and felt a tremor in the stone. Not movement, not sound, but memory. This labyrinth was pulling him deeper. The air shifted, and his vision blurred. Not the present, but the past, dredged up, raw and unbidden. Suddenly, he found himself young again, an acolyte in a master's shadow, las pistol shaking in his hand. The hive city burned around him, a cacophony of shellfire and falling hab blocks. He had been ordered into the smoke-choked manufactorum to sweep it clean of survivors. But what he had found was no heretic, but a woman, face hollow with hunger, clutching a boy against her chest. The child was thin and filthy, but his eyes were bright with a strange intensity. Kalen remembered lowering his pistol, his voice rough with smoke as he told them they would be safe. As he reached out with his hand, the boy screamed. Not in fear, but pain. The sound had been nothing like Kalen had ever heard. The tearing of flesh from soul. The child convulsed, froth bubbling at his lips, bloodshot eyes bulging as his body contorted against his mother's grip. He had writhed and clawed as if invisible hooks dragged him into the void. Kalen staggered back, horror dawning. The boy had been a nascent psyker. His soul, untrained and unshielded, had brushed against Kalen's presence and recoiled. The boy's agony was not from fear of the man before him, but the absence within. Kalen Aluris was soulless, a pariah. He remembered the mother's shrieks, the way her eyes burned with hate and terror as she clutched her dying child. He remembered his own hands trembling, unable to reach forward or retreat, trapped in the revelation of what he was. The Emperor's curse, made flesh. The labyrinth's stone walls groaned as if they drank the memory. He pressed forward, bile burning in his throat, the echo of that child's scream lingering long after the vision had passed. And yet, beneath the horror, had been something else. Something that had never quite left him. A question. A hunger, even. If he was soulless, then what were psychers, truly? What did they see? What did they feel that he never could? That moment, the child writhing before him, had sown the seeds of his obsession. He hunted witches because it was his duty. He studied psychers because it was his compulsion. He could never touch the warp, never hear its whispers, never see what they saw. And so he pursued it all the harder. That was his true tragedy. Suddenly, the labyrinth bent again. The memory of the child's scream gave way to another shadow at the edges of his thoughts. Fire in the sky, frost on the ground, Frostroyans burning, yet frozen. And the great crimson-clad warriors he had once called his own, descending upon a world doomed by his hand. But there was something else now. Something not born of memory. At the far edge of his vision, he thought he'd seen them. Silhouettes, impossibly slender, moving soundlessly through the shifting dark. Their forms flickered like mirages, there and then gone again. But their presence was undeniable. They watched. They waited. And the witch blade upon his back seemed to grow heavier, as though it longed to answer their summons. He pressed on, jaw tightening. Whatever walked in his shadows was no mere phantom of this labyrinth.